Hi, my name is Scott Marker. This is another episode of Treasure Valley NIA Quick Tips. How this podcast came to be is I'm an owner for over 7 years of a network and action franchise out of Houston, Texas. And we build out three groups and have local business professionals, business owners get together once a month and help each other grow our businesses, referrals, of course. And through that, here in the Treasure Valley, I tell everybody we're like a big high school. I love it. But I meet a lot of people that are experts in their field, and a lot of times people don't know what they don't know unless you're immersed in that industry. So, um, uh, today's a perfect example. So, Derek, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Derek. I'm with Signarama. We're a local sign company in Nampa, Idaho, and we service the whole Treasure Valley for everything signage.
Cool. Yeah, and the thing I like is and talk about this is that you guys are locally owned and operated. You're a family locally owned and operated, and but you have an international reach because of the Signarama, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so Signarama is actually the largest sign company in the United States, and they are an international company as well. They have stores in South Africa. They have stores in France. Stores in Australia. So we might be a small family-owned, operated business, but the experience and the wealth of knowledge that we have goes across the entire world because we can reach out to other Sonorama locations and gain their experience as well. So
Yeah, I love that. And then also, if you have a business here that expands in other states, then you can a lot of times be a Signarama that can help them out too.
absolutely, yeah. So a quick example of that, there are several Sinoramas in the Salt Lake area, and as the Treasure Valley grows, we do notice that there are a ton of businesses that are that are expanding from Salt Lake to the Treasure Valley, and when they do that, a lot of the times they've already worked with a Sinorama in Salt Lake, and so as they move and gain a location here, we can actually communicate with with that Sinorama in Salt
Love
Lake.
it.
That's all your artwork, that's your branding, that's everything. So now we just know exactly what you expect out of your signage company because we can reach out to what you had in Salt Lake.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. Then so how, again, because you're immersed in this, but how do you know? How does the business know, or you know? I mean, when it kind of out. I mean, it's been in business for 10 years, 20. How do you know? How do you know when you kind of outgrown your signage?
The best thing to do would be to always look at your sign, especially being a business owner. A lot of the time, business owners will forget that their sign even exists because they go to work every day. They walk through the front door and they're just getting ready to do whatever they're doing for the day. Um, it's always good to just take a look at your sign and look at it and put yourself in the perspective of a prospect or a customer. Um, that's going to be your first impression. That's your first handshake. And so that's going to be a representation of your company. So whether your sign is dirty, whether it's old, lights are out, whether the vinyl has become, over time, it peels and wears due to the sun. That's the nature of the beast.
Right.
Especially here in the valley where it gets pretty hot. So always look at it. If it's just not to your standard of what you would like, then I would say that you've probably outgrown it. Or if at the beginning of your business you were always on a fixed budget, if you went with a more budget friendly option for your first sign, maybe it's time to step it up to that next tier, right? Whether you got an ACM panel when you started off with some vinyl, that's a pretty inexpensive way to get some storefront signage. Maybe it's time to upgrade to that channel letter illuminated sign. Maybe you want it to pop at night. So definitely just think about how a presentation to your clients.
Yeah, because it's like you said, you're in business 10 years ago. You just start off and you don't have a very big of a budget, so you do what you do, right? So you get a
Yep.
sign, but I mean, like talking about light lit up. I mean, I can think all the time. I drive by businesses all the time, and I know what they are because a big sign that's lit at night. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And especially here in the valley during the winter time. I mean, it by the time at the peak of winter, it's dark by 6 o'clock, and we
Yeah.
don't stop at 6 o'clock. We keep
Yeah.
going. You know, whether you're going to dinner, you're going, or you're just getting off of work. You know, I can think of Napa Caldwell Boulevard or signs off of Overland or
Yeah.
those busy streets that sees hundreds of thousands of cars. You want a nice illuminated sign that's going to catch people's attention.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of that, where are you located?
We're in Nampa, Idaho. We're right off of Amity.
Okay.
Amity and Happy Valley is the probably the most popular corner street that we're at.
Yeah.
So, and then we're sort of just kind of right behind Columbia High School.
Cool. But I mean, if somebody wants to talk about signage or something, if just on the initial thing, they can either come to your store or you'll go out to them, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So you can call us. We can have a preliminary discussion over the phone, and then we can from there decide what's going to be best for you and your schedule.
Yeah.
If you would like me to go out on site and take a look at what you guys have, what kind of sets us apart right now as being family owned, kind of a smaller business, is that's a service that we're offering for free right now. Typically, sign companies to even go out and do a site survey, they're going to charge. Right now, we're doing that for free just because we want to establish the relationship. We want to understand what your sign needs are. And a lot of people are kind of scared to maybe put up $125 just for me to come out and talk to you. Um, I thrive on in person interactions. So whether that's you coming to the store and seeing the samples that we have of different types of signs, or me going out there and showing you what's possible with your storefront.
Right. So, and then here, like, because people are going to say, you know, am I just spending money on a sign, and or is this or should I consider this an investment? Because like one thing is that if people drive by you and know what you do, that's going to help you with business because people are going to
Yeah,
pull in.
yeah.
Are there other ways that you've seen that signage can help businesses grow or increase their
Absolutely.
business?
Absolutely. So we always think about what is your target clientele. Are you looking for a high value target? Are you looking for a low value target? Or are you looking kind of that mid range? And signage can offer that. If you're offering a premium service, then a client should expect a premium presentation and a premium service. So let's take a financial advisor, for example. If a financial advisor, he has a client come into his store, your store has a nice, bright, illuminated sign, or it just has a really polished looking sign. Doesn't necessarily have to be illuminated. Um, but the other thing is when they walk into that door, what is the first thing that they see? The receptionist sits at a desk. What's the presentation at the desk? Is it just receptionist? Or do you have a lobby sign behind you that's a representation of your business, or your business logo and a nice cut aluminum sign? We can even do interior illuminated signs that really pop. And it's all about giving that presentation. So you're going to get a high value target if you give a high value presentation.
Right. You see, and that's something that, again, because this is what you do. But I'm thinking, yeah, because you want to have the same type of branding too. So if you're going to have like a nice sign outside, then as you go in, you can have, other type of branding signage like on the back wall behind the receptionist or, on wherever it is at. And you guys do all of that stuff, right? Anything that you can print your name on?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So we do everything. Yeah. Anything that you can put your brand on. And and even if you don't really have a lot of ideas, I'm more than welcome to come out and take a look at your space and see how we can maximize it for presentation.
That's awesome. Now we get outside. So now you're a business and you have fleet vehicles or at 1 or 10 vehicles out there. I'm sure you can help those people out to keep their branding going outside their business.
Absolutely, yeah. So, kind of tying into has your business outgrown its current signage? Let's talk about contractors. Contractors will
Yeah.
do. Oftentimes, it'll be just logo on the doors, phone number on the back, something super simple just to get started. But maybe that doesn't catch an eye because you got to think people drive by those types of vehicles every single day. Maybe that's not catching my eye. Maybe it's time that my business needs a full vehicle wrap. That's going to catch somebody's eye, right? Let's see, let's maximize what we can present to a customer on a vehicle. Um, I can't tell you how many times I've been stopped at a stoplight and I look over next to me and I see a full vehicle wrap, and it gives a list of services, it gives their logo, it gives their presentation. Hey, I know that that guy is a professional.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because I've done it before where, of course, I'm stopped at a stoplight or something, but
Yep.
I'll actually go, hey, I should call, I need their service. So I'll take a picture of it
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
the phone number, right on the side of their car, so or
A-
behind it or whatever. But I've done that numerous times over the years.
Absolutely. Yeah. The number one thing as a business owner is you should be representing your business on your vehicle. An example we have of this is it was a Signarama, and it was a Signarama on the East Coast, and the business owner pulls up, and the franchise owner, Ray Titus, was with him, and he pulls up in his car and he says, "Hey, how come your car's not wrapped?" And the guy goes, "Well, it's a Lexus." And he's like, "I don't care if it's a BMW. You need to wrap it. You need to give a presentation to your customers. You drive by hundreds of people every single day. That's free advertising every day. You don't have to, you pay for it initially, but there's no follow-up monthly payment. There's no any of that. And you're reaching new clients every single day when you're driving by them."
Yeah, and then I've heard, and you can tell me about this. This is years ago. I knew some guy that a different state that did wrapping vehicles, fancy vehicles. I'm talking. Well, how he wrapped them was not branding. He wrapped them for different colors. Like so,
Mm-hmm.
Ferrari wrapped it. But I don't know. But at whatever type wrap he had, can you peel that stuff off? Let's say we're going to sell it 10 years later. Can you peel that stuff off?
Yeah, that's another thing that we offer too, is we offer removal.
Okay.
So if you have something on your vehicle right now, we will take that off. We can take that off, and yes, you can remove full color changes.
Okay.
One thing I want to highlight too is not we don't just do logoed stuff. If you have a personal vehicle and you want to do a full color change on it, we can do that as well. The nice thing about a full color change wrap is it's far less expensive than repainting your vehicle. So it's a very cost effective alternative to changing the color of your vehicle.
So that's cool. Like I said, that was kind of a side tangent, but this is years ago. But this guy was showing me all these really high end cars that they were wrapping all these crazy colors. But the good part is you can take it off
Yeah, yeah.
if you're gonna resell it. And then one other quick fun thing is talk about like boats.
Yeah, so we can do vehicle wraps on boats, and we
That
can
is
also even
cool.
change if you got some. I mean, water is going to be hard on everything.
Yeah.
UV is going to be hard on everything. You have old striping on your boat. Oftentimes, if you take a look at it, it's going to be cracked. We can remove that old striping. We can put new striping on it. Just refresh your boat. So, I mean,
Cool.
you always winterize your boat, right? You always
Yeah.
winterize your boat and service your boat every year. Why not give it a fresh vinyl every year?
Yeah. There, this was like, geez, this is years and years ago. He's retired since, but I talked to a signage guy, and he mentioned that um, uh, that one of his biggest of those flags you see out there all the time. I
Yeah,
kind of said that's back when this is 10 plus years ago, but they started popping. Now they're everywhere, but at the time we're starting to pop up, be more and more popular. And he said that anytime somebody says, "I wish more people could find my business," he said that's when he would lead with those flags.
yeah, yeah. If you own a boat and you're out on a lake house or something like that, think about the clients that are at the lake.
Yeah.
Uh, a lot of times, if somebody's got a lake house or something like that, they're probably a business owner or they're a high level decision maker. So if you have that sort of brand exposure, even if they're on vacation, they're still going to be looking at it. They're still going to be thinking about their business.
Yeah, but I'm not. But do you guys do flags? Those flags that are out there?
Yeah, yeah, we can do flags.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like that, trying to find somebody like a business sometimes because they couldn't whatever they couldn't afford to be street side, so they had to be a little bit tucked back. So the flags are always a good thing to kind of guide people back to find you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I love those. So what are um, when it comes to like businesses and stuff like that? what do you think on the when they come to you and they have like no clue on branding? How do you guys help them with that?
So branding, so we have an in-house designer.
Okay.
So say for example, you're starting up a business and you have nothing, you have no logo, you have nothing like that. We can help you create a logo. We can come up through we like to call it concept to design to production to installation. That's kind of the process that we like to follow. Um, so you can come in with nothing. You can come in with here's the name of my business. Here's the services that I offer. Let's sit down and let's figure out what we can do. And as a matter of fact, I did this recently with a client of mine. She's a accountant. She does bookkeeping. She does taxes. She does basically anything that you can think of accounting. And she originally had a concept. She kind of came up with it with AI, where it just said bookkeeping and tax services. And she's like, I don't really think I like that tagline. She's like, I just do so much more than that. And I said, okay, well, let's sit down and let's talk it out. And we probably spent about a half hour finding out everything that she did. And finally, we landed on full service accounting as a
Oh,
tagline for her.
I like
And
it.
immediately we went, hey, this is everything that you can think of in accounting,
Yeah. Yeah.
full service accounting. And she said, that's awesome. That's perfect. And I told her, I said, yeah, we're not just a sign company. We can also be your marketing partner too. And she says, I'm starting to see that. And we've actually built a client for life because of it, because we did a lot more than just do a sign. We did a lot more than I took your artwork, I printed it in vinyl, I went out and did the installation. We sat down and we helped her build her business with her logo. So we do a lot more than just signs. I mean, we're going to come up with concepts. We're going to help you with your business. I say it all the time that we're just as invested in your business as you are in yours because we depend on your success.
Yeah.
If you're successful, then we're going to be partners for life. So
Yeah, I love that. So what would a like I always try to get a free tip out of people so when it comes to what's a like a no cost branding tip?
I would say no cost branding tip is look at your signage. Yeah, absolutely. Just go out, take 5 minutes of your day, take a look at your sign, and I would say if you want to go a step further, um, act like you're a client, act like you're a prospect. Pull up to your business, look at the sign, walk through and look at your lobby, look at your vehicles, look at what you're presenting to clients. Um, if you've got a wrap that's partially fallen off, you got to get that fixed. Because if you pull up to a client's house and your vehicle doesn't offer the best presentation, the service they might be expecting isn't the best. If your sign has lights out or if your sign maybe isn't the best that it could be, just look at those things. And it's super easy as a business owner. I mean, we're guilty of it as well, where you don't look at that thing because you've seen it every single day, so you become
Yeah.
numb to it. You become numb to
Yeah, I always like kind of the mystery shop thing where you ask some of your friends
it.
that might not know really a lot about what you do. You may say, "Hey, come look at my business and tell me what you think I do." Because sometimes and then I bet you'll get I bet you'll get a lot of fun answers because again, like you said, people get kind of just used to seeing the same thing all the time.
The other thing that you can do as well is go to your competitors. Go
That's
see what your competitors are doing. See what
true.
their presentation is. If you're out on a job site, look at your trailer and then look at your competitor's trailer. Be like, hey, do I have better presentation than them? Am I going to get more clients just because I have a better presentation? And just see what your competitors are doing. So
Yeah, I've heard people over the years tell me that they need some service and they pulled over on the side of the road because they see the truck, right, or
yeah,
their trailer wrapped, right, and so they pull over and you know, and get the phone number off the truck. And actually, this is a side note, but I actually knew a company years ago that they would have like a sandwich sign and put outside. They're oh, it's a home service business, so
Yeah,
it's wrapped. But they actually had one of those sandwich board signage things with with the thing you could take a picture of and put your a scanning code on it to schedule an appointment. And they would
yeah,
occasionally get appointments right off of their those signages.
yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was awesome. So anyway, this has been great. I love your passion for helping out people with their companies, and I just think, and also being local here, I love that. So if someone's trying to wanted to reach out to you or the team, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way to get a hold of me would be my cell phone. I'm the sales manager here,
Okay.
and I can go out on site and take care of you. So my phone number is 208-353-6946. If you don't want to have a conversation just yet, you're just kind of curious about what we can do, you can also go to our website. So our website has a full list of services and everything that we've done here in the Treasure Valley.
Cool. And I'll put all that stuff in the show notes. We'll make it easy. So, hey, Derek, it's been great. I really appreciate you. I love your passion for helping people. That's one thing I can tell you, like I said, I really like that because it's like you're so invested in helping out people. Even we'll get into it, but even a little small job you told me about um, that you did for somebody that was a very small job. You put a ton of work into it and effort, but it meant I think you got a customer for the lifetime on that one.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So anyway, hey, well, I appreciate it. So this has been another episode of Treasure Valley and I Quick Ticks. And so until next time, um, have a good day. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.